Welcome, amazing agents from across the country. Today is Thursday, September 13th, 2018, and this is Mastermind call number 194. Coming up on 200. We'll have to do a special 200th call celebration soon. Great participation. We have 4 in the queue already. As I was saying just a few minutes ago before we got started, if you would like to participate, hit star 6 and hit 1. And there's just a slight pause between hitting the star 6 and hitting 1. And Barbara Oleski, I don't see you in the queue, and I don't see your phone number. So Barbara's been having a hard time participating lately. If you are there, go ahead and send me a text, and I'll manually let you in. Tim, are you on the call yet? All right. Well, our fearless leader is late today.
Any of you? James.
I know you're here. Thomas, anything you'd like to share with the group?
No, nothing specific. Just want to always remind everybody that we're here to help, and don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can always get us by sending an email to support@alltheleads.com. If you're in your account area, under the support button, there is a contact us. Just be specific on what you're looking for. We assign those tickets to the appropriate people to get back to you. So we expect to hear from you, and we want to, so please reach out.
Excellent. And our fearless coach is off in the woods again, Chad. So it's right now it's me and Tim, and I'm assuming Tim will be coming shortly. But we got a great participation. We have 6 in the queue already. Let's go to our first caller, phone number ending in 4014. You're up first.
Hi, this is Mandar.
Hi, Mandar.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you great. Yes, sir.
So I'm a new agent here in North Texas, in the Collin County area, and I joined this call based on some videos I saw on Vulcan 7. I have never done probate, and I'm going to sign up with the program. For a new agent that has never sold a home, getting into this program, how effective will the program be if I sign up for the mailers and the calls from this program versus me doing all the legwork myself?
Yeah, great question. We had an agent a couple of weeks ago who was on the call in South Carolina. She's probably getting ready for the hurricane. She's not on today, but same thing, Mandar. She was brand new in the business, and I think her second month she did her first 3 deals ever in the real estate business as probate deals. The really nice thing about probate is it really allows a new agent to be very competitive with the seasoned veterans in your market. For one reason, such a large percentage of these people are not local. You're reaching out to somebody who's 1,000 miles away. They don't know you from the guy that's got signs all over the neighborhood. So and most agents, this is a niche that a lot of the seasoned veterans don't work. So if you follow the program and just come with the service mentality that you're reaching out, it's essentially just, in most cases, a motivated absentee owner. So if you reach out to these people with a provide value first mindset, that I've got this whole team of people that can help you, I know it's a tough time for the family, how can I help you? You can do just as well as, somebody who's been selling real estate for 20 years. It's not as complicated as you might think. They have a probate attorney that handles all the legal aspects. So you just have to help them with what they need. The estate sale company, the clean out crew, the contractor, an investor, and you to sell the property. And the good news is these people are pretty motivated compared to your average person. It's not like a FSBO or an expired where there's 100 other agents calling them. So in the second part of your question there, the closer you follow the program, the better. We recommend get the leads, send a letter, follow up with a phone call. Unfortunately, too many agents, the letter is important. It introduces you, and people will put that letter away. It makes it less of a cold call, when you do call them, and they'll put that letter away, and you'll get calls 6 months or a year later. But the agents that don't do well with this program depend too heavily on the mail. The mail is great. It's an introduction, but you got to follow up with the phone call. We do have agents in less competitive markets that get good listings just from the mail, but you're going to do much better if you follow the whole program. Kind of a long answer to your question, but I hope that helps and it gives you some encouragement. It's not unusual for a brand new agent to do extremely well in this niche. It's not as competitive as almost anything else that you could do. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps. Thanks.
Okay. Any follow-up questions? Anything else? The other thing I would say to you, once you do get signed up, just make sure you take advantage of all of our tools. Watch those fast-track videos, do your orientation call with Tom, show up on these weekly calls. It's a complete system, so take advantage of every part of the system, and you'll do very well. And welcome aboard, and after the call, give me a call, and I'll get you signed up.
Okay.
Is that good? Anything else we can help you with today?
Yeah. The other thing is maybe it's more specific to my county.
Sure.
So every month I was told that 150 leads or more are delivered to the agents that subscribe to this program. Do you advise as a new agent just starting out to get all 150 leads, or just buy the 90 leads and see how it goes?
I mean, if you're going to work them, I would get all of them. It generally 90. You're going to have a much better chance of success with all 150. And just honestly, if you budget your time, 150 leads, I mean, you only have to average calling 5 of them a day, and you probably don't have a whole lot else to do as a new agent, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and remember. Yeah, and remember, we will do it for you. If we do the mail for you, that'll certainly free you up to make the calls. And if you get bogged down and you're not making the calls, let us know. We can do that for you also.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Great participation, guys. We got 4 more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 0005. You're up next. Are
Hello.
you there?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you great.
Okay, I am experienced agent, been doing probate for about a year, and I run into a serious bump in the road. And I'm hoping somebody else has and it's cash buyers. In other words, the cash buyers, like OfferPad, for instance. I'm sitting at the kitchen table last week, and a guy that had, gotten my letters, got my phone calls, called me back. And so I did a quick CMA for him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the OfferPad people were maybe $20,000 less than what I could produce for him. Right. And he said, this has happened to me twice, he said, well, I don't have to do anything with these guys. I can just, pick up my dishes and go, so to speak.
Sure.
That's tough competition.
Right. Robert, what 20,000 off, what percentage of value was that? How much of a discount was it?
$250 was the price of the house. Okay. I mean, it was the listed price. And I was going to produce, I don't know, in other words, he would net $225. I don't remember exactly. Okay. Right. And OfferPad was within $10,000 of where I was. So it was he'd have to put it on the market for 6 months, that type of thing.
Sure. I haven't heard of OfferPad. Is that a local investment group, or is it a national company? Is it something relatively new?
It may be local to Florida, now that I think about it. No, Florida and Texas. Florida and Texas, 2 states. But there's equivalent everywhere, I guarantee you. There's equivalent cash buyer. Yeah, so
you had an investor that was willing to pay about 90% of market value, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's boy, the good old days when I used to do this, you could buy for 65, 70, 75% on the dollar. That was just 6-7 years ago. That's not uncommon. There are companies like that are willing to do it. I would try to find your own OfferPad. Find somebody in your market. I've heard Chad say before that he had a very good success rate finding local landlords. Because if you can go into the tax rolls and see who owns multiple properties in that market, a landlord will probably pay way more than a buy and flip investor. So, if you could find somebody who owns a half a dozen properties in that particular area, if there is someone, reach out to them and see if they, you could kind of create your own offer pad and tell the people, I could do the same thing. Let me ask you this. These situations, was there a high urgency there that they took a 10% discount or not so much?
No real urgency at all. They could have waited forever.
Okay. Because,
in their head, of course.
Yeah, because if you could find your own buyer who was willing to pay, 85, 90% of value, and they are out there. They're not. It's not going to be a buy and flip investor. It's probably going to be a buy and hold investor where I notice the same thing in the auctions in my area. There's a lot of guys much younger than me that are paying 90% of what they're worth, and the interest rates are so low, and the rents are so high that it makes sense to buy and hold. So,
Jim, one of the things you touched on, and I think you ought to maybe hit it a little bit harder, is that one of the big things that we always teach is that if you are out there and you're doing your job and you're able to do all the great things that you're doing as a listing agent, it is also in today's market, I think it's absolutely critical that you have multiple investors in your pocket, that if you run into a circumstance like that and you find someone who is looking at it with a high sense of urgency, you need to be able to introduce that investor into that deal. You should always have those relationships previously built, and whether they're I scratch your back, you scratch mine, or you're literally participating and getting some benefit out of that by working with that investor, that's up to you to work out. But everybody who's really being successful doing this, everybody has investors that they work with, and if you just need to be in control of that situation. And if you had that investor when that came up, you could have easily said, well, if you're interested in a cash buyer and you're willing to take less and not wait for it, then give me a second and let me call Billy Bob and see what he might be able to offer you, and be prepared to move that quickly, because you're going to find, particularly in the competitive market that you're in, things aren't staying on the market long. Property's just moving. Inventories are way down. It's happening. So having an investor that you have that relationship with, I think, is really, really important.
And Tim made a good point. You want several different types of investors. Do you have a buy and flip investor, Robert? Somebody who would, if it's a really good deal, would buy it or not?
Several.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking for a more specialized investor, and that's why I was suggesting either go to your local RIA maybe and look for a buy and hold investor, or the landlord approach is usually a pretty effective way. I'm assuming you can go into your MLS and check the tax rolls to see who owns multiple properties in that market.
Every day. I do it every day. Okay.
Yeah. So that's usually a good way. A landlord that owns a dozen properties in there isn't going to be looking for a huge discount. If you get something at 90% and the rent makes sense, that might be a really good source to find someone like that. And like Tim said, try to find them ahead of time, in the different segments of your market. So, next time you get that offer, you can respond real quickly. And the final thing I was going to say, you could respond with, well, gosh, I could do the same thing. I have an investor also that would probably do that. And, if you're not in a big hurry, why don't we go ahead and try to list it at retail for a month? If I could get you $20,000 more, if it doesn't sell in 30 days, we'll bring in my investor, and, you have the same benefit. Sell a little bit of a benefit for you. You can do the same price, but you can also offer them a short-term opportunity to maybe make more money. Make sense?
I'm thinking you can probably smell the sawdust there.
Where did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm trying to think. Well, I know an investor here that owns 6,500 homes. They're the largest landlord in the country.
There you go.
And I know a couple that own 60 or 70.
Yep.
But none of them can play in the game that OfferPad is playing in that I can see. In other words, the landlords are really just, and I'm a landlord, are just more conservative people essentially. But these, and I guarantee there's cash investors everywhere in the country now. They have different names.
Sure.
But I've never seen anything like that and I don't want to tell you how many years experience I have because it's older than you are. But
your ideal investor, the guy who owns hundreds of properties, is probably going to be in a position to name a big discount. Your ideal guy might be somebody who owns 3, 4, 5, 6 properties in that neighborhood, and he's looking for a long-term investment. The other thing I would suggest, go to nationalria.com, our Real Estate Investors Association, and call your local chapter, talk to the president of the RIA, tell them what you're looking for, and say, hey, can you recommend a good buy and hold investor to me? There's guys in those clubs. There's 500 guys in those clubs, and 5 of them do any business. He may have a hungry, buy and hold investor in his group there that's looking to get started.
That's a good thought. Good thought. Okay, well, I appreciate that. And I'll keep struggling and keep listening.
All right. Please come back and let us know how you do with it, Robert. Appreciate it. We have 4 more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 5051. You're up next.
Hi. Yes, this is Gloria Holt. I'm out in Southern California. And
yes,
I have a couple of quick questions. Number one is, you had mentioned the recordings on these calls. By the way, they're excellent. I like them.
Thank you.
And now I'm under the Frank Patrick program, so I couldn't find the recordings. Is that why?
Are you one of our subscribers?
Through Frank Patrick, right, for the letters, right.
Yeah, that's fine. You can find us then, and Tim can help me with this a little bit. So you're not subscribing to our leads. You're just using our mailing service, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So then you can find the recordings in our Facebook group. And
Facebook group, okay.
Yeah, if you're not a part of it, go to All the Leads Mastermind and request access to the group. And then, Tim, once she gets there, this is a question Chad answers all the time, but I know you
just
can...
scroll down, bud. It's just a scroll down.
It is just a scroll down, look for the recordings, and...
Yeah, they're every week there's at least one there, and they're always in there.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, very good. Because they're very good, and I really would like to review, pick up some good information. Other question... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add one thing important to add there. You don't have to listen to the 195 hours of recordings. You can kind of scroll your mouse over the calls, and it'll tell you all the subjects that were covered on that call.
The subject? Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, because my other question was having to do with you were going to have a lady that's been very successful with attorneys, and I'm very interested in that because I tell you what, Southern California, I've been doing the mailings and the calls. This is my third round, and I tell you, it is brutal out there. Very aggressive, competitive market.
Sure.
So I'm thinking that attorneys might be a more lucrative way of approaching this. Right now, I'm emailing them, and I'm trying to kind of prospect that way. But any information, any ideas I can get, I'd love.
Yeah, the last 2 calls we've had people that have talked about that in our Facebook group. There's been a lot of there's the people that have shared on the last 2 calls with us have also posted details on the Facebook group.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll go there and check it out then. Great. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. We have 3 more in the queue, guys. We have plenty of room for more. Again, just hit *6 and then hit 1. And next up is phone number ending in 9731. You're up next.
Good afternoon. This is Rob Quinn in the Cleveland area. And my question is, so I have my first batch of leads, and the direct mail went out yesterday through your guys' through all the leads. And the question is, for months 2 and 3, would you recommend creating and editing the letter for each month, or would you recommend doing basically the same postcard for months 2 and 3?
So here's the question: every time you send it out, you are making that impression, and if you assume that they read the first one, then you may want to deliver a different message the second time. And we have a sequence of 3 that are there, but the point that I want to make, and I'll make this to everybody on the call, is every letter that's in there is literally there for you to edit and for you to change. So they're there as samples, and we encourage you to make changes to them and personalize them and do anything that you want. Now, you also mentioned postcard. Did you send a postcard out the first time, or did you send a letter?
So I sent a letter for basically the first time reaching out, and then I'm just wondering for months 2 and 3 if just history, if you guys have had more success with doing a letter or with doing a postcard.
So letters are always going to get you more traction than the postcard will. Postcard is less expensive, so it's a numbers game. We've done lots and lots of hard work to make sure that we get great open rates on the letters. They go out in invitation envelopes that get opened. They are in color. They've got a signature on them, or they're handwritten appearing, and they look great. And so that's generally a better way to go do it. Having said that, there is also effectiveness in postcard mailings, and it does change the base a little bit. You can also do a larger postcard for, it's still less money than a letter going out the door, and maybe get some traction with that as well. But you really just kind of have to think about how you want to be seen, and the letter is generally the easiest and best way to go do that. Just make sure you edit the letters and vary the copy a little bit. Deliver a different message.
Okay. I did edit the first letter, and so it sounds like the letter would be the best route, maybe for month 2, and then maybe do a postcard on month 3, or
possibly so. I'd look at the results. Yeah, look at the results that you get from your first couple of months, and make sure, as Jim said earlier, I mean, the key to this is follow up on that letter and begin that conversation with the warm introduction. Hey, I dropped you a letter 3-4 days ago. I want to make sure that you received it. I'm interested in working with you, and I want to make sure you got my letter. Did you get that? And that's a great way to start that call off. It's not a cold. It's certainly not your best buddy next door, but at least it gives you a reason to be making that call rather than, hey, I saw you're having to handle a probate. Okay. And that's really the purpose of doing that. So yeah, definitely do that and vary those letters. And if you have, this is more for everybody, not just you, but if anybody has problems with what to say and what should be in that letter and all that, and you want to make some changes to it, but you're not sure what to say, we've got folks that will help you do that. We don't charge you for that. We want to make sure we get the letters out for you. So if you need help, just let us know, and we'll be all over helping you.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have 4 more in the queue. Familiar name up next. Phone number ending in 6370. You're up next.
Hi, this is David in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I had more of a comment than I do a question today.
Sure.
Well, it's actually maybe a feature request. I like listening to your podcast. I download them, play them in my car on the USB stick. But one thing that's really harsh is that sometimes the dynamic range is so great, as you understand. Somebody who calls in and they're very low volume, and then Tim or Chad, or usually it's Tim or Tom jumps in, and the volume goes up by 20 dB and blows out the speakers. I was wondering if there's a way that you guys could put that through a limiter where it would kind of compress it.
That's probably me blowing the volume out. I'm probably the loudest of anyone.
But it's a connection too. It's a connection.
Sure.
Yeah, but
sure.
Yeah, that's actually very, very good. We don't audio process those files, and we definitely can do a better job with that than we can. I mean, what we've been concerned with, obviously, is getting the information out, and we are making some technical changes internally, and that's a really good suggestion. I appreciate that, and we'll definitely take that under advisement. Won't promise it's going to happen tomorrow. There's a lot of things that we need to do that probably are more bang for the buck right now, but that's actually a great suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And there's free programs like Audacity. And
well aware. It's just another step, and it's hours in the day, but I appreciate it, and it's a great suggestion, and we can probably get that done pretty easily.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, bud.
All right, thank you, David. Next up is phone number ending in 7500. You're up next.
Yeah, this is Tom from Southern California, doing my first mailings. I'm curious. You said something about a open rate. Have you guys been tracking that through the agents? What type of letter gets opened? What type of what kind of envelope gets opened, and what kind of paper you guys use? I'm a heavy farmer, do Buffini systems and things like that. I'm branching out into this because I've had a rash of probates lately. Friends dying. I'm coming into that age. So I was curious that in your marketing point, have you been tracking what what actually gets opened?
Sure. So obviously, letters, the best that you're going to get out of that is anecdotal data, and so I'll give you the benefit of what we've learned over 4 years. We always send everything out in one of two kinds of letters. If it's a letter to an attorney, oftentimes we send them in business letters, and we include a caption on that that refers to either the docket number or the estate of John Doe, so that if the attorney is an attorney mailing, the attorney needs to open that. Same thing's actually true for the personal representative. If you want to send them in number 10s, you can do that. If you're going to do it, you typically want to do it with that note on the outside, because it will get opened. That's their legal responsibility to manage that. However, the best general open rates that we get seem to be coming from the greeting card size envelopes, which we kind of spoke about earlier. They're called A9s, and it allows you to put an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in it folded once, which makes it greeting card size. We also put them in color envelopes. We make sure that the outside is hand addressed, and we've written some specific computer software to do that addressing so that it's indecipherable, that it's not handwritten, and we just get great open rates with it. The best testimony to that is that we continue to get reorders, tons of them every month from folks who are very happy with the results. So I guess that's the best answer I can give you. As far as paperweight and all that, we use high quality paper. We don't scrimp on that. We keep it, where it should be, and we, it always looks very professional, and just do it like you'd normally like to see something that you'd get and respect the person that sent it to you.
Okay. On the okay, I think you answered that. That's great. Thank you.
Okay. And are you looking to do them yourself, or you want us to do them for you? I mean, if you want, if you got more questions.
My kid's a data processing expert, and he ripped out 135 yesterday. And
good deal. That's great. I'm glad you got somebody doing them.
Yeah, and then I've always hand addressed envelopes because it looks more personal that way.
Yep, that's why we took the time to do it and make sure that we spend a goodly amount of time and money making sure that what we send out will rival anything you can do by hand, and you're doing it the right way. You keep on doing what you're doing. Just make sure you get them out and follow up with a phone call.
Okay. Do you guys put business cards in your first mailer?
Depends on what people want to go do. Some do, some don't. Some also include a flyer. Some don't do that. Some include a trifold. We've had people put rack cards in. We also do lumpy mail, where people put an object in there that makes it more appealing to be opened. They'll put small items in there that make it when somebody wants to open it, there's something inside for them.
Just because I've farmed so much and I always give them an item of value, I've actually give them a blue pen with my name on it and a phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Something to hold on to. So
yep.
And I put that, why is this blue pen? Because this makes it, you can recognize an original over a black pen, and you're trying to figure out if it's a copy or not. So,
yep.
Trying to make
we have people that do that exact mailing as well, and they're very happy with it. Also, they use that exact technique and that same mail with a blue pen. So one thing I will tell you is that we partner with the Postal Service and hold a permit, and internally we're able to send those out at a potentially significantly lower rate than you can normally do it doing it first class. And oftentimes, if you don't send it out with the package rate these days, the Postal Service is starting to clamp down on that a little bit, and it has happened in your market.
I took an envelope down yesterday at 71 cents on a that greeting card type envelope with a pen and intro letter. So, okay.
All right, man.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We only have one more in the queue, guys. We have another 30 minutes, so please participate. Hit *6 and hit 1. There must be somebody out there that has a question, concern. We have a Win of the Week program. I don't think we've heard a win yet. Barbara Oleska, if you're on the call. Oh, there we go. All I had to do is say Win of the Week, and 4 more people jumped in. Good. All right, so we do have plenty of room for the 4 that are in there now. Let's do, next up is phone number ending in 8851. You're up next.
Yeah, I was reading about the call for you, where you guys call the leads and call the attorneys. Can you talk a little bit more about that and explain the handoff process?
Sure, and I'll start, and Tim, you can please jump in. About 7 or 8 months ago, we got a little frustrated because really the only choke or failure point with this program is agents, investors that won't or don't have the time to pick up the phone. So we found we had so many people calling and kind of apologizing that they just didn't have time to make the calls that we started our own call center. So typically the handoff point is, they'll have you fill out a form, they'll get background on you, and we don't try to have them close the sale. We have them introduce themselves as your assistant, and you ask them to reach out and verify some information. Want to make sure you got, Bill's letter. He wanted to make sure we had the right person. You are the executor of the estate. Wanted to verify what real estate is involved and that you do want to sell it. And at that point, that person will schedule an appointment for you to call them back. And we're kind of big believers. Schedule an appointment while you got them on the phone, and you can give them your time frame. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 to 5 was when I do my appointments, and they'll try to schedule the call back, and then they will either call or text or both, but they'll email and or text, I believe, but they'll let you know right away that you have an appointment. And we recommend once they set that appointment, get back to them as soon as possible, at least to confirm the appointment. So I don't know if that answers your question. We don't try to have them close it. We find it's much more effective to have them, third party sell that they work for a great agent and get the information and then close for you to call back and sell them. Does that help?
Yeah, and how is that any different when they're calling the executor versus the attorney calls? Because the attorney calls look like they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah, the attorneys are harder to get a hold of. You got to go by more gatekeepers, and they are. And by the way, what we charge for the calls, that is to call all the phone numbers we have for the person. So with the executor, they'll call all 3 or 4 phone numbers. They'll speak to someone. They'll leave a message, and then for at least a couple days, they will field any callbacks and relay the appointment. The attorneys are harder to get a hold of. It is more expensive, but it's actually a cheaper program because there's so many duplicates with attorneys. If you have 100 leads in your market, chances are there's probably not going to be more than 30 attorneys, maybe 20, 30 attorneys, because maybe 40 at the most. So you do tend to get a lot of duplicates with the attorneys, and as the months go by, you get a lot of duplicates also. So it's more expensive per lead with the attorneys, but it ends up being a much lower cost. And Tim, you can speak. Go ahead. You can speak to the results, please.
Yeah. Well, the other part of it, as far as the attorney is concerned, the attorney is a little bit different. If it's possible to make an appointment, what they're trying to do with the attorney is they'll actually make that appointment for you to go visit with that attorney and get a couple of slots on the attorney's calendar that work for the attorney, because typically in the attorney situation, what Jim said, they ended up talking to the gatekeeper, and so if they can get the gatekeeper to give you a slot on the attorney's schedule, or the attorney will approve it, they'll approve multiple. They're just on the phone a good bit longer and working a good bit harder, and those gatekeepers are much harder to get through. So that's why. I mean, we just spend more time with them. But they'll actually book a time if they can on the attorney call and give you a couple of options to do that, and then you can follow up. The other thing that Jim said is that as soon as they make that appointment, they do send you an email, and we are automating a process where as that email goes out, you'll get a text that also tells you, it's not in our system yet, but that's one of the features we're working on. You'll get a text to your cell phone that will tell you that an appointment has in fact been made. Okay?
You there, sir?
Thank you.
Okay,
yeah,
you're very welcome. Got 4 more in the queue, guys. Great job. Next up is phone number ending in 0617. You're up next.
Hello, good morning. My name is Sergio. I'm here in the Phoenix area. I was referred to a member here. I'm actually brand new to the probate process. I have a lot of success with making phone calls to canceled, expires, and for sale by owners. and I was interested in this revenue or this stream of listings. So I'm more so curious how to get started, because the couple of questions that I've heard so far, I specifically have time to make the phone calls, and I would really like to know how I can really go about contacting these people, mailers, and then getting them on the phone.
Sure. Best way to get started, as soon as this call's over, give me a call. It's 954-400-3500 is my direct line, and I'll kind of walk you through the program. And then once you get signed up, there's 5 10-minute videos that'll really, we call them the fast track videos, that'll really walk you through a comprehensive overview of the whole program. And then my partner Tom will reach out to you within a couple days and do another orientation call. We really go out of our way to make sure that you understand the complete system and that you know how to work it before you get started. So it's not a big learning curve. If you're used to getting on the phone, that's half the battle. And I think you're going to be, I was the same way. I used to make 100 contacts a day, and I wish I had worked probate back then. I mean, this is so much less competitive. These people do not have their phone ringing off the hook, and they actually want to talk to you. So it's a much easier lead source in, most cases to work.
Okay, and that's definitely what I'm gathering. So obviously, if they're less upset from the inundation of phone calls, I'm all in. Your number said 954?
Yeah, I'll give you my direct line after the call. Just wait about 5 or 10 minutes. It's 954-400-3500. Our direct line, which you can get any of our salespeople, is 844-532-3369. We've got a great sales staff, and I'm always on the phone, but generally someone will get back to you within 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll wait till after the call, 5-10 minutes, and give you a buzz, and I'd love to get started.
All right, you talked me into it. Sounds great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, appreciate it. Boy, great participation, guys. I may have to cut it off. I think we've got about 7 in the queue, and we got about another 20 minutes, so probably is going to take us to the top of the hour. Next up, and we're still looking for our win of the week, is phone number ending in 3669. You're up next.
Hi, this is Amy. I'm in South Florida area, and I can you hear me?
I can hear you, Amy. Hi.
Okay, good. Hi. I went on an appointment last week for a listing appointment, and I was verbally awarded the listing. It's a condo, and there's leasing restrictions, and you can't flip it over, so I didn't have to worry about investors or anything like that. It'd be a normal retail sale. My thing, I guess my bottleneck that I had with it was the reason she chose me verbally and everything and her brother is because I said I could clean it out and get it all ready and they wouldn't have to worry about that. But they still have some personal items they want to go through. The personal administrator lives out of town, which is the daughter, and the son lives here, but his wife just recently passed away, so he doesn't have time for it. So they said a neighbor has a key here, this and that. So I left the message on, sent him an email and told him I had someone that could come down, that I could come down and take pictures and send it to the estate person to see if there was anything of value. And if not, I had someone that could clean it out for them, and they would talk to them directly and give them a price, so-and-so. So I need to know how I can bridge that. I don't have a signed contract, and I seem to be getting myself in these, because I've had 2 or 3 listings already where I end up doing a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work. And I don't mind working, but I'm not getting paid what I should be getting paid because I'm afraid I'll do the work on this one, and then they could not sign I might not get the listing. I never know. You didn't ever know.
Well, first of all, congratulations. You're in one of the most competitive markets in the country, and it sounds like you're doing really, really well out of the gate with this.
Yeah, it's working well. It really does work.
Right. So what's stopping them from signing the listing? Is there an objection that you need to deal with?
No, there's not an objection. I guess it would be, the objection is they want to clean out, they want to make sure everything's out of there and it's ready to go. They don't want to put it on the market ahead of time. So I could date it for I could date it for 30 days out or 45 days out. I guess I could do something like that.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to suggest. Sure, date it ahead of time. Just say that way that'll allow me to start contacting my investors, my buyers. They can do some drive-bys, and then we can really hit the ground running when it does hit the market. That allows you to get started on your marketing right away. But, I would always try to get that if you can.
Right.
And do you have a good estate sale company that's been handling a lot of this stuff for you, or no?
No, and that's why I've been making the calls and trying to contact people and interview them over the phone. And you never know. I just don't know yet. I'm learning.
Yeah, I had another one of our newer subscribers in Florida also this month ran into the same thing, and I suggested that he go to, and I don't know if you've already done this, but go to estatesales.net.com or .org. Did you go there?
I went to estatesales.net, and I had responses. I got 3 people that I'm talking to, and I do have a lady that does clean-outs, like for people that are moving and stuff like that would have to box it up and give it to Goodwill or whoever you donate it off to, because that's basically what most of it will end up at. But
okay, good.
So yes, I've done that. So you feel pretty reliable upon the estate sales net?
Yeah, we had the president of the National Association of Estate Sale Companies on there, and I believe, I could be wrong, Tim. You could back me up, but I think that's her organization that she founded and started, and they all tend to be, reputable, and I think there are ratings there also, so you can look for reviews and read what other people have said about them.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
For the day.
And Amy, I think so far you're ahead for winner of the week. You've done a few deals, so
I'm working on it.
Thanks for sharing. We have.
And thank you.
You're very welcome. We have 4 more in the queue, 6 more in the queue. Wow. We're going to cut it off there, guys, just to make sure we can get done close to the top of the hour. But phone number ending in 4983. You're up next.
Hi, I'm Janice, and I'm new, also from South Florida.
It's South Florida Day.
Yeah, that's what it is. First thing I wanted to know is I see you have some kind of a video in Mailbox Motivator, but I can't find it. Is there a demo that I'm missing here?
If you go to our website?
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I was looking for my partner, Tim. If you go to, and Tom, maybe you can help too, if you go to our website, alltheleads.com, and hit the tab that says the system, you should be able to drill down and get to Mailbox Motivator. Tim, do you know what she's referring to as far as a Mailbox Motivator demo?
Can you hear me, Jim?
Now we can. Yeah, we couldn't hear you for a while there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you weren't able to hear me. If you go to our website and simply go to the home page of the website and you look at the pull down boxes, didn't have the website open. Click on ATL Success Systems, and when you click on that, you'll see a drop down that will be one of the things in that drop down box that you can get to is Mailbox Motivator. And it will literally show you everything there is to know pretty much about that. And if you have more questions, certainly you can do that. You can start working on a campaign. You can place an order. Anytime you need some help or you just want conversation about it or we can help you with any aspect of it, just drop an email to support@alltheleads.com and somebody will get right back to you and help you get squared away.
Great, thank you. Just a couple of other quick questions.
Sure.
Do the leads come with email addresses as well?
They do not. We only furnish information that generally is available at the courthouse and is on that docket. Oftentimes the attorney will actually put their email address in there. The legal representative never has that data in the data that we secure at the courthouse because it's not in the filing. So we generally don't do that, and quite honestly, we don't recommend prosecuting the leads with an email because we think that a more personal and direct approach is kind of better. While it is a numbers game, and if we had them reliably, we'd encourage you to go do that. But we just simply don't get them and don't spend the time and money to go grab them because the system that we have kind of works pretty well. So we've been so successful with that, we haven't had a need to change it.
Gotcha. Thank you. And last question, I know that the ISA service in my county is booked. Is there a waiting list?
Yes, there is, and you can certainly get on that if you'll just let us know, or if Jim has your info, we'll be glad to put you on that and keep you posted if it becomes available.
Great. Thank you very much.
Janice, if you would, send an email to support@alltheleads.com just as a reminder and say, I want to get on the wait list for your county, and we'll get you on there today if you're not already on there.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Tim, you had something you wanted to add?
No, that was what I was going to say. What you just said is exactly what I was going to say.
All right, great minds.
We have
exactly. We got 4 more in the queue, and next up, Tim. For some reason, are you on? My screen is frozen up. It won't let me into the. Never mind. I manually did it. Mandar, you're back. Can you hear us?
Hi. Yes. Thank you for allowing me to ask 2 more questions.
Sure.
First is I signed up for the Probate Mastery coaching and the certificate program
Yes, sir.
with Chad, and I wanted to know. I didn't get any details on the program and who I should contact. That is my first question. Second question is, as we were discussing about attorneys and mailing to attorneys and building a relationship with them, how critical it is to have that confidence in attorneys so that they become a referral source to bring more business to me down the road. And in order to get in touch with these attorneys, is mailing and phone calling the only effective way, or should I personally put an effort to meet them in person and build that face-to-face contact, or is my success in listing and selling homes a cause for them to have confidence in me so that they refer me business down the road?
I'll tell you what, for a new guy, you ask great questions. You really do. I mean that as a compliment. Those are all great questions. There's a 2-pronged approach here. We recommend reach out to the executors first. They're the now business. They're the decision makers. But absolutely reach out to the attorneys. Everything you just said works. If you're going to send a letter, let us personalize it so that the exterior of it says regarding probate case number 123784. It looks more like official business. You can certainly try to call them. Our ISAs have had better luck, better success calling than agents have, and we think maybe the gatekeeper is more willing to talk to an assistant, than they are the agent. I will tell you though that our most successful agents have just gotten out and gotten in front of the attorneys. They'll identify the 5 or 10 players in their market. We have some really nice trifold brochures on our website that you can order, and they just get out there and stop by the attorney's office. We had a story a few months ago. One of our agents dropped off a dozen brochures at an attorney, and he was busy. He was he was in a meeting or something, and a couple weeks later, the assistant called back and said, "We're all out of brochures. Can you bring some more?" She said, "Sure. This time, can I have an audience with the attorney?" So everything works if you do. But to answer your question, probably the most bang for the buck is try to get out there and see them face to face. And again, just like with the executors, you want it to be about them, not you. You with the attorneys, you want it to be about how you can make their job easier. They get bogged down with a lot of questions about what do I do with the personal property, when's the best time to sell the real estate? Should I renovate it? Should I sell it as is? So if you let that attorney know that you're going to let him do his job and take everything that is not attorney or legal related off of his plate, you're going to have a friend there. It's just getting through and letting them know you're going to do it. And then finally, Andar, the other approach you mentioned is also a good way. Once you get a listing, now you've got a legitimate reason to contact that attorney. You've got to call them and find out, say, hey, I just listed the Johnson estate. I need to know, when do you anticipate the probate being completed? So, that's a good way to get your foot in the door and just do a really good job, make that initial contact and show him by example that you're going to do a good job and get that property sold the first time. So long answer to your question, but they all work if you work them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
Let me add one other thing about that, and that is this, that you should pull your leads into a spreadsheet. Download them one time every month. If you're going to go after the attorneys, pull them in there and sort them on the attorney column, if you pull it into Excel or you're using Google Docs or whatever, sort on that attorney column, and you'll find that the ones that are doing multiple probate leads in your market, those are your best targets. That's where you want to start. So target your marketing efforts on those and work down from there.
Yeah, thank you for that.
All right, excellent, sir. Thank you for several great questions today. We have 2 more in the queue, guys, and that should take us right up to the top of the hour, so perfect timing. Next up is phone number ending in 4082. You're up next. Are you there? It looks like Valerie Jones, 4082. Going, gone. Next up is phone number ending in 7428. You're up next.
Oh, hey guys, this is Dave in Littleton, Colorado calling. Great call so far. Thanks for putting these on. They're always great.
Certainly.
I'm a unlicensed investor, getting leads from you guys and doing the calls myself at the moment. Had a good call with Joe, I think, is that right? Over
yes.
at your office there for the ISAs. And yeah, similarly to one of the previous callers there, my market is tied up at the moment, but on the waiting list. And I'm currently using Mojo Dialer, and quick comment there would be, have you guys ever considered using the member, subscriber, or client's caller ID? I've had people call me back based on a voicemail message in the past months later, and was curious to know if there's a thought or reason that you guys aren't doing that, just because similar to a letter, they might store it and look back at it a month or 7 months later.
Yeah, so here's the deal, and I think what you're saying is maybe potentially putting your caller ID on the outbound calls. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, the problem with that is that there are some limits to what Mojo will allow, and there's some limits to what the flexibility even within the call center will allow. It's a good suggestion, and I think we need to take that under advisement, and I'm kind of responsible for all the tech side of this as well, and I just made a note to check into doing that, and that could be something that we could add, and if we can, we will. I mean, that's certainly no reason not to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great, because it was, from my limited experience so far with Mojo Dialer, it's pretty easy to get those basically set up. They just call you and you hit a digit or two, and it. Well, we don't. Yeah, we don't.
You know, there's not a. I mean, there's some small expense in doing it, but the real issue is more the just getting it done. And we don't use Mojo in our call center. We have a bit more elaborate call center solution than that. Mojo is great for what you're doing, does a great job. We use one that actually is for multiple users, multiple accounts, and lots of different stuff going on at the same time. But I'll definitely check into that. Thank you for that suggestion.
Great. And yeah, I've got a win wanted to share. Kind of took to heart the seller net sheet from last week that Chad went over, I think both on the Mastermind call and then covered it again a day or two later on the role play call, and was talking to a gal that needed to get rid of a house. She was trying to fix it. She was ready to be done with it, and she'd been talking to an agent, and I told her what we do and how we can provide as a team. And my primary goal as an investor is to lock up the property, of course, but went through that with her, the 3 scenarios in that list, and even though the net number was lower than the other 2, she wanted to work with us and get it done quickly. So we got that under contract over the weekend.
Awesome. And what's your name, sir?
My name's Dave Gwynn.
Dave Gwynn. I wanted to make sure that I get that down. You are definitely in the running for Win of the Week, and I love the fact that I remember the call. You came on the role play call, and we spent a lot of time going over that, and you actually took the solution, went out and implemented it, and made it work. So congratulations.
Yeah, it was great. It worked better than I thought. So.
Good. Way to go. Congrats.
Hey, Jim, I want to I want to just throw something else in. It wasn't on this question, and I know we're close to the end, and you got one more in the queue. But a couple of people have commented on the wait list for ISA, and obviously it's a very popular service. We're doing really well with that, getting great results, and that's why it is as popular as it is. And I want to explain to the people that are listening what that means and why we're doing that. While we can very much do a very good job of making sure that if we have multiple customers that are sending letters out in a given market, we do everything in the world that we need to do to make sure that yours are unique and differentiated from any other letters that are going out in your marketplace. Different envelope, different color, different font, different everything, and certainly different content in the letter. However, in the calling side, there's no way to make that call different. We're calling the same person for the same purpose, and so we have reserved that. We're pretty religious about making sure everybody gets good competitive results, and so we limit that to one person in each market for our service, and that's why. So that's why there's a wait list. So I urge you, if you haven't done so and you're interested in the ISA services in your market, you should get on that list and give this a try, see if it works well for you. If so, you want to make sure that you do get that locked up as quickly as you can and couple that with the letters. But the ISA thing is getting hotter by the minute, and we want to make sure that we don't disappoint you. So that's why we do the wait list.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we have 3 people that stuck in the queue. And I'm definitely going to cut it off there. David Griffith, you're the last one today. Anything else we can help you with, sir? Is that help?
Yeah, it's Gwynn, actually, Gwinn.
Gotcha.
Is my last name. But, yeah, that's it. No, I can certainly appreciate the strategy with the ISAs. I've been looking at a bunch of them, call center types, and having that training built in is pretty nice. So
awesome. And I would encourage, like Tim said, people come and go, unfortunately, and for a lot of different reasons, people get out of the business, or they get another job or something. So get on the wait list. Eventually, you will come around to you. It may not take quite as long as you think, but just ethically, we just don't feel comfortable making the same call for more than one person. But get on the wait list as quick as you can, and we'll keep you posted when a spot becomes available.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. We got next up in the queue. What happened? Everybody in the queue disappeared. Ellen Griffin, star 6 and hit 1. My computer blinked and knocked you guys out. Sorry about that.
Well played, Jim. Well played.
Well, thank you very much. I hit the right button. My computer's been a little squirrely all day. It's been freezing up. All right, everybody's back. Good. All right, so next up is phone number ending in 6370. You're up next. Ellen, are you there? 633. Okay, good. You're up next.
Hi. There was one important thing about the ISAs that I don't think was really made clear to the people. I use ISAs as well. And the most important thing about the ISAs making an appointment for me is I get a recording of the call. Because, sometimes these calls are 5 or 10 minutes long, and the ISA can only type in a few sentences. But by listening to the personal representative's response and their tone and their demeanor, and they say some things in there that the ISA may not realize is so important to put into their typed email, but to hear it has been tremendous in how I approach the personal representative when I follow up on that appointment. And
great point. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen.
Yeah.
And you really talk about qualifying an appointment. It's great if you can actually listen to it and determine, the best strategy to call them back, and to kind of know how real it sounds. So, great point. I'm glad you added that. Thank you.
That's all I got for this week.
All right, we're going to speed through the last 3. We're going to go just a little bit overtime today. Next up, if I don't disconnect you all again, is phone number ending in 8103.
Hi, this is Laura, and I'm calling from Central Florida. And
hey, Laura.
Hey, how you doing? You mentioned that there's a trifold brochure that can be ordered to mail out to attorneys. Could you give me the detail where I can get that?
Sure. Tim, where can they find that?
Yeah, all you need to do is just drop a note to support@alltheleads.com, and one of our people will call you and get you what you need. Just drop an email to support.
Okay, support@alltheleads.com. Okay. And I have a win for the week.
Got that, Laura?
Yeah, she said she got it. She's got a win now.
Okay, great. All right, next up is second to last. Yes.
She's got a win. She was sharing a win with you, buddy.
All right. There's a lot of background noise there. I'm sorry, would you jump back on, please? I went to the next person already. Hit *6 and hit 1 again.
Okay, is that for me or is that for the other person?
No, Belinda, you're up next, and we'll wait for her to come back. I went too quick to you. I didn't hear the win.
She's still on, Jim. Go ahead, Laura.
I just wanted to share, I have a probate listing, which has been complex. There were squatters that we had to have removed from the property. It's also a pre-foreclosure with a reverse mortgage. We're having that dealt with. And it's under contract with a buyer that I pushed and muscled into, who's an investment buyer, who I have worked with previously. And the investor buyer, his motivation is to fix it up and flip it, and he has agreed that I can be the listing agent on the flip as well.
Awesome. That is great. Well, we're going to have a hard time deciding on the winner of the week. That's 3 great stories. Thank you, Laura, for sharing. And I didn't mean to cut you off there. Thanks.
Okay, take care.
All right, now Belinda.
The squatters, the foreclosure, but it's going to pan out very well.
Awesome. Good job. Thank you. Belinda, you're up next. Belinda, are you there? All right. I'm definitely don't want to cut you off too soon. Going, gone. Belinda Reese. All right. Well, last up this week is phone number.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
David. Yes, we hear you, David. Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, the system's going crazy because I got accepted a couple times, and then other people came on, like Quinn.
Yeah. It one time I disconnected y'all by accident. The other time my computer kind of blinked. Sorry about that. But
Okay,
welcome,
anyway.
welcome back.
Thank you for your persistence. Yeah, thanks for answering the question about the limitation on the ISAs. That makes perfect sense about exclusivity. That was one of my questions. The other question was a follow-up question that was in today. You were talking about attorney calls, and you were saying redundancy. Could you explain the concept of redundancy? Are you saying when you go through the probates, if they're referencing attorney, then that becomes a duplicate attorney?
So here's the deal. What I was suggesting, I think you referred to the fact that I said pull it out, put it in a spreadsheet, and sort by attorney. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, but then you're saying, if you see duplicate attorneys, they're working.
So here's the point. Let's just say you've got, for argument's sake, got 100 leads in your county. If you got 100 leads and you do what I suggested, and you sort them, you pull over and sort by that column, what you'll find is that the same attorney is servicing multiple probate personal representatives in that county, and that typically is an attorney who has become known for probates in the county. That's why they have that. They may be working senior organizations. You know, they get their business the same way that we kind of teach you to go do that, is to work in the right places where you find those. So those are the folks that you want to go after for getting an appointment with them to talk with them about what you do so that they can refer business out to you and vice versa. And that's what I meant by doing it.
Go look for the duplicates.
Pardon?
Go look for the duplicate.
Right. Look for the duplicates. I'm not saying mail each. If you find one that's serving 7, obviously you don't want to make 7 phone calls and send 7 mails. And I know you didn't mean that. What we're saying is, if you do that, you're able to hone this down, and you may find if you've got a county of 100, and let's just say for argument's sake, half of them actually list an attorney, I can certainly tell you that you'll find 4 or 5 attorneys in there who are doing significantly more than one, and then you'll find a bunch of them that are doing one at a time. And the one at a time is typically a family friend, an attorney who does something else for somebody, but the ones that have multiples are probate specialists, and they specialize in family law or creating wills and stuff like that. And those are your prime targets. So you want to start at the top. The guy or gal that's doing the most is the one you want to focus on, and that's who you want to deal with at first.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. And Belinda Reese, my apologies. For some reason you dropped off. Please come back next Thursday. You'll be first up. Yeah, I know you always have a lot of good content to add. Extraordinary call, guys. As always, I can't thank you all enough for being here, for participating. one thing that really jumps out at me, we're going to have a hard time on the win of the week. We had 3 diversely different stories from both realtors and investors, and one thing in common, all 3 successes came in 3 of the most competitive markets in the country, which is really encouraging. That if this works in, Florida and Colorado and California, there's no reason it shouldn't work for anybody, and it works equally well for realtors and investors. So, again, thank you so much for sharing. I know a lot of people on the call were inspired by your success, and we'll have to take a vote here and pick a winner of the week. I want to end this call like I always do to thank you so much for being here. We sincerely appreciate your time. We really appreciate your participation. I want to challenge each and every one of you. Take one of the stories that you heard on today's call, just one idea, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share your results with the group. Thank you so much, guys. Great talking to you. Make it a great week, and we will talk to you the same time next Thursday. Take care.